Yeah, every time you see Martin's name,
Good
you give it
afternoon, my
another pull.
brothers. Welcome to West Ham United 1895, our second video. Good afternoon, Martin.
Good afternoon. How you doing? And it's our third, man.
Yeah,
Well,
I was going to say it's our
lucky,
first, yeah. See, stop playing with yourself, mate. Stop
just
playing with yourself.
before we come out. Afternoon, Stu.
Afternoon, young man.
Right, listen, we don't want to really just go on about what happened yesterday, but we'll go with Martin first because before Stu, if you sun it at the screen. Come on, Martin, the England-Argentina game last night. Give us your brief account of what you think happened. Martin, before you start, can you tell me, do you think it was sort of a bit like Nuno football? Can you compare Tuchel to Nuno when you give your account of what you think happened, please?
Okay. Well, for the first half, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought we played well. We were competitive. We had a decent press on, and up to the point that we scored, we were well in the game. However, like when West Ham go 1-0 up, Tuchel decides to put on his man-sized Pampers and shits himself, doesn't he? Yeah. And then that's when all the substitutions come.
Yeah.
And anyone that is a West Ham fan would have looked at that and it would have been PTSD all over again. That's exactly what I was watching, and I thought, what the hell is going on here? And from the moment we took off Anthony Gordon, who was the first guy to come off, and brought on Ezra Konsa, we set out our stall. We said that we're going to be defensive now. Come and have a go, break us down. And they did. And they absolutely battered us for the last 35 minutes. I was furious last night. I was furious this morning. I've calmed down a bit now. But when I looked at that, it just reminded me of Nuno Ball.
And Moyes, and Lopetegui, and Potter. Nothing changed, did it? Stu, give us your synopsis of what happened last night.
Well, exactly what fucking Pups just said, but as you added, it weren't not just like under Nuno. It's like under all the last fucking managers we've had. What, the last 4 or 5 years? But I'll say to you anyway. I'll still say it was a conspiracy. I reckon the Germans and the fucking Argies conspired to fucking dump us out of the World Cup because they don't like us. And we've got a German for a manager. Why the fuck have we got a German for a manager? You know what I mean? It's fucking bullshit.
I don't want them for managers.
It was shit.
But look, I think,
but as Martin said, once Gordon went off, it totally changed the game. Killed the game. Killed us. Just, I don't know, mate. I'm just sick of.
I've said it for years, Stu. We've had this football, haven't we? It started under Moyes. We had a couple of good seasons under Moyes, didn't we? Where it was only because of Antonio really running the lines, weren't he? Predominantly on the left and then cutting in and then Bowen coming in. And we got some good results. But when you're 1-0 up, how many times will these young lads who was in that England team, and what a waste it was to not play Ollie Watkins, what a waste it wasn't to play Kobe Mainoo, people who could run at people, even Rashford. On the right, he could have played. Them kids, it's a generational thing, and it's gone. I think I mentioned this before. I watched a Rio Ferdinand podcast. They was talking about the 2010 squad, and they went out there saying it was a generational thing, the golden group. And he said we was set up wrong. And when I was listening to Rio Ferdinand, I thought, it's probably a load of rubbish, mate. You just didn't play it. But I think he was right, because if you look what he did last night, I think the last 10 minutes, we had something like 7% possession. And we were just oofing the ball up and oofing the ball up. You've got to be able to play through the lines, play your intricate triangles. You've got to play keep ball if you can. If you don't want to score, play keep ball. But have people that can run. Have someone like Rashford or Gordon, as you've mentioned, who can get the ball and run and get the ball up the other end. If you want to take it in the corner like some people do, my thing is try and get another goal. How they scored 2 goals like they did in the last 10 minutes. It's just ridiculous. But it was just ridiculous football to play.
Yeah, as I said to you earlier, mate, when we were talking, halfway through that second half, we didn't want to come out of our 18-yard area. We left them have so much room. I might have a fucking bit of a whinge and a whine and moan about Declan Rice. You know, it's only because he's a gooner. But we missed him. When they took him off, it left such a big hole in the middle of the park. No one could fill it. There was no one there to fill it, to do what he does, what Declan Rice fucking does. It gives that fucking short-ass little fucking Argentinian shrimp, fucking Lionel, as I call him, fucking Lionel, it's fucking Lionel fucking Stressy, you know what I mean? Fucking, it give him the run of the fuck, he could do what he liked. And that fucking sub he brought on, the one that was doing the fucking RG sub, oh fucking... Like a short name, but double-barreled. He was the one putting the crosses in.
Oh, Paul?
Yeah, that's it, him. They had so much freedom. And Fernandes, why didn't nobody shut him fucking down? We've seen him do that for Chelsea week in, week out. So why, you know, people know, we know half of these fucking players from the Premier League. So why can't we play against them? Why can't we go out? Because I didn't fear Argentina as a team. I thought if we went out and we played how we can play, we are going to beat them. No worries at all. And I'm so pleased that the Spanish knocked the fucking frogs out. You know, I mean, if the Argentina frogs had gone, I would have been fucking in seventh heaven, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think anyone realises, Stu, the amount of ground, knowing Declan Rice as we do. I always said he added 2 years to Cressey's, Aaron Cresswell, you don't know, Cressy, added 2 years to his career. The amount of ground that boy covers. He's supposed to have been not 100% fit. But a guy I know, Dave, who's out there, right, he's been sending me updates. He's gone to every game. And he said against Mexico, we did this, the last 10 minutes against Mexico, we did the same thing. We shut up shop and we were lucky that Mexico didn't get an equaliser. And he also said that against Norway, you see differently when you're there, didn't you? That we were quite lucky to come out of that game. You can't keep lucking games. When, like Martin said, when we had a bit of control over the game in the first half, sometimes it takes managers time to work us out. I remember when we played in the Euro final against Italy. I mean, he scored in the first 10 minutes, and the Italian defence was in disarray. And what did he do? What did Gareth Southgate or Gareth Tuchel do, as I'm now going to call him? He then put 10 men behind the ball and says, right, we've scored a goal. Let's try and hold it for another 85 minutes. And look what happened. Do you see any difference, Martin, in the football between how we played under Gareth Southgate and how we played under Tuchel? Because I tell you, for the last 3 or 4 tournaments, we have had, I'm not going to say easy runs because I don't want to be disrespectful for other teams. But when we've gone through stages of the groups, we've not had the hardest of games and we've gone through groups. I don't think for another couple of tournaments, we can't get that lucky when we go through games who we meet in the next round, and we have had great opportunities to win something. And now I actually think in my lifetime, I don't think I'm going to see us win anything, Martin. Tell me the similarities you see between Southgate and Tuchel, or are they just a clone of him and Nuno? And that's just the way football is and what we've got to accept football's played at the moment.
Well, I don't accept that's the way that football's played, because we watched last night and we saw an Argentinian side that didn't give up. You know, they made effective substitutions at the right time. Their manager saw what we were doing. We were going to put our backs to the wall and try and defend a 1-0 lead, and we got punished for it. So I don't believe it's a case of, you know, that is how football is going nowadays, because you didn't see Spain doing that against France either. You know, they got 1 goal and then they went on and they went for a second goal. So, you know, credit to the people that have got the plums to go out there and attack a game. Football's about scoring goals at the end of the day. The thing that winds me up most is the fact that when Tuchel first come in, he criticised Southgate for the kind of manager that he was. And yet, 12 months later, we've got a carbon copy. He completely bottled it. And no, I don't think that's the way football is. I think that's just the way that certain managers are. And if you would speak to many Chelsea fans, not an awful lot had a good word to say about Tuchel.
Won him a European Cup, Martin.
Well, David Moyes won us a European trophy, but it don't mean that we were singing his praises.
It's a bit different. Yeah, a bit different than the Champions League. Look, what I'm trying to get at is, Well, if you look at the European football, as we say, in Argentina, as we know, they don't like a lot of black players over there. It's a massive racist country, by the way. You know, we won't go into that. But most of their players over there play for their own clubs, and they go back there when they're finishing their careers. We know what's gone on in Europe, especially if you look what's happened to the Dutch. They've gone out really quick. We looked at the Germans. Yes, it was on penalties, but we know what happened with the Italians. They've not qualified for the last 3 World Cups. Roberto Baggio made a 900-page report on the problems of Italian football, right, and what they need to implement to change it. I still think in Europe, we're getting too many players in from Africa. We're getting too many players in from South America and the Argentinians. They're coming over. And I think it changes everything. I still think the development we should have. I mean, you've talked about having an English manager. Without doubt, I think an English manager should be in charge of an English team. And the top of my head, without trying to think of anyone, it'd have to probably be Eddie Howe if they offered him the job, if he wanted it. I can't, top of my head, I can't think of anyone. But I do think the style of football is going away from the Guardiola type of football, where it was quick, tippy-tappy, trying to move the ball forward, to the way Arsenal won the league. If you look at Arteta 4 years ago, they didn't get over the line, but they played really good football. Let's be honest, Arsenal. Where if you look at the Arsenal of this year, they've scored their goals from corners and throw-ins, and then they've sat deep and not tried. But I do think there's a change in football. Do I think it's right? No, I don't. I think we pay money and we want to be entertained. But I just think we had a massive chance here. The Spain are technically good. Technically good. They always called them the team of underachievers, didn't they? In Euro 96, they went in as favourites, and I think we beat them on pens in Euro 96. But they do underachieve. But technically, they kept the ball and they played the ball around France. France were a team of individual, but the Spanish played brilliant football. And I really do hope that they absolutely smashed the Argies. But they can't keep getting these VAR decisions and referee decisions go their way. Do we think Fernandes should have been sent off for the elbow in the head, boys, by the way?
It's a tough one, really. Yes, I do. But then I think Anderson made more of it than what actually happened. But they weren't the only one. I mean, there was other fucking tackles in there that just weren't being punished in the first half. I mean, look at that fucking, what's his fucking name? Begins with an S.
Simeone, young Simeone.
Yeah, the amount of fucking fouls that cunt was doing in the first half was unbelievable. Yes, give the referees due. He was blowing up for a foul. But we were saying here, how many more are you going to fucking give him? For fuck's sake, book him. Book him. He needs fucking booking. And the ref just wasn't booking him. I suppose to the letter of the law, he could have been sent off because he did. He went flying in like that, straight into the back, into his back of his neck. But then we had one similar in the first half when he just fucking bashed into the back of Anderson, and pushed him over, totally off the ball, and the ref spotted it and he gave a foul. But book him. It's totally off the fucking ball. Book him. But he just wasn't. He didn't want to book the Argies. He really fucking didn't. Because I honestly believe that they could have been down to 9 men easy.
I agree with you. There's a lot of people, Stu, even in America now, are saying that there's too many decisions have gone their way.
People are going to say, it's just fucking sour grapes because you lost, you got kicked out of the World Cup. No, it's not. You've only got to look back at what's gone on over this World Cup, not just with England, but with fucking other teams that have gone out as well, have been fucking robbed. Look how Egypt were fucking robbed. Egypt were fucking robbed, mate. There was no way they should have gone out. They should have knocked the fucking Argies out. But they were fucking robbed. It was disgusting. And it's been like it the whole World Cup. It's been
I was listening to a lot of commentators last night, and a lot of them were saying you've got to give credit to Argentina. They were the better team on the night. Now that, in the words of Stu, boils my piss.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't think that they were particularly brilliant at all. I think we made them look good. Yeah. We allowed them to come into the game. How many times they had 5 corners in a row where they were doing exactly the same thing? There were so many times and opportunities when that ball come out of Enzo and he was looking to take a pop shot. You could see it coming a mile off. And like Stu said before, we've seen him do it at Stamford Bridge. We've seen him at away grounds doing exactly the bloody same thing.
Look at the space McAllister had. McAllister at the post twice. Look at the fucking space he was given. Yet we know how he fucking plays. He's played in English football for God knows how long. You know? It's just, I don't know.
Carry on, Martin. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, mate. I jumped
No,
in.
that's all right. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, for me, you know, I don't think Argentina were all that. We made them look good for the last 35 minutes of that game, and that is on us. Well, when I say us, that's on Tuchel. I don't blame the players. I think if the players were to have an honest conversation and come out and say how they feel about tactical decisions made, there's a lot of angry people in that squad. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, I agree. Boys, listen, we've done our bits. We've all got the I nearly said it. We've all got the ache, shall we say, over it, but it's done and dusted. Look, it's not long now before our new season. I don't think we've gone into a season as West Ham fans, right, with so much positivity or pixie dust and fairy farts, as Martin calls it, around the club. There's no negativity. Sullivan is still in the background. You know, whether he's got any input into the club anymore, we still don't know. But Kretinsky supposedly has put money in and getting us out of this hole that we needed to find, this 90 million and pay back. I honestly believe there was going to be a mass exodus of players. I thought quite a few would go. And it isn't. And literally, supposedly, a lot of the backroom staff, we thought we was going to have to lose because we're going to lose in the region of 150 million in income. Nobody's gone. So it's good time to be a West Ham fan, Martin. Now, I've got to tell you, someone in there, right, out of two people, right, one of them is going to have a bet that West Ham get 100 points and that Pablo is going to be top scorer in the league. Tell us why you think we're going to get over 100 points, Martin, and Pablo is going to be top scorer.
Well, let me just say that I'm looking to do that, but I'm looking to do a cover bet with Tati doing it as well. Now, a lot of people slate Pablo. Now, the reality is that he's
scored the other day.
Yeah, he's come in and he works his socks off, and like I admire that. I admire somebody comes in who grafts, but the reality is he's a striker and he needs to put the ball in the net. And he's been given so much shit. I just want to see him come out fighting. I want to see him score some goals and go on a decent run. I want that for him as the human being individual, because he don't deserve the shit that he's been given. And yes, he hasn't scored, but he's been with us less than 6 months. Yeah. For the work rate he puts in, you know, I just want to see more from him, and I'm hoping that he gets some goals. Could be.
I agree. Stu. Sorry, Martin. Go on. Sorry.
No. Could be a ridiculous bet, but you know, if, and this is a big if, because my concern with the club at the moment is that since the talk about the so-called shares and all that, and Kretinsky increasing his, nothing has come out of the club since. So there was like this really feel-good feeling at the moment, but it's all gone very quiet. There's nothing about any transfers. And I know a lot of people complain about the in their nose and all that lot and people leaking shit. But surely, with like less than 3 weeks to go, we should have heard some news about something moving forward, even if it's one player coming in.
No, I agree. Stu, do you find it nice and positive for a change around West Ham? Listen, deep down, do I want Nuno? No, because I think, you know, we said he's played Tuchel football. But look, he's here now, so let's get behind him. Let's try and get the boys, you know, get a good atmosphere in this team. I've told you about people I want out. We spoke about Tabido. He said he weren't going to play. If he wants to go, let him go. We know he's caused trouble with 3 different managers. But do you think it's been a good atmosphere around the club, Stu, and no bad news?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I mean, it's great. I think it's good. I mean, it's like the old days when you didn't hear fuck all. The only time you saw anything is if it was on the back page of the current bun, or you fucking on the old CFAX or Teletext, you know, to look up fucking information. So I think it's good. I really do. That nothing. Yes, you got those that had their fucking in the nose, and then they got a big fucking backlash over it all and all the fucking rest of it. And they, you know, and some of them were saying, oh, we don't want to hear nothing coming out of the club. But now these same people are saying, why ain't we fucking hearing anything coming out of the club? Well, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? You're a flip-flop. You know what I mean? I'm fucking great there's no news coming out of the club. I'm fucking... So when we do get a bit of fucking news come out of the club, whether it's positive or negative, we then know it's proper fucking news, not made up fucking bullshit coming out or something just to try and deflect us. You know what I mean? So no, I'm pleased there's nothing coming out. And just to go back a bit on the Pablo thing, I've been saying for a long time. Now we're in the championship, he will be 10 goals minimum. I'm telling you now, he will get in the championship next season.
But Stu, you're part of a WhatsApp group. I'm not in it. You've told me a few people on there have been moaning about Pablo. We had it last year, you know, with us four as a joke with James about Souček. I just think we've got to get behind people. Brian Clough many years ago said, get a spine. Get a spine in your team. We've got the keeper. So far, Areola or Madsen haven't gone. Mavropanos yesterday has come out and says, I ain't going nowhere. Jared Bowen up front. Pablo and Tati so far have said they're not going. So we've got that spine. The only one who's rumoured to be wanting to go is Wanasmaka. Like he's the one who might be going. But we got Walker Peters sitting there. And the only problem is there's been 3 Celtic lads linked with the club and 3 young Portuguese clubs linked with the club. But I think that's a good thing. But I think on balance, if you would have said when we went down last season, my head dropped. You know, we had that Jermaine Defoe instance where he didn't even get the shirt off in the change room. And he went, bye-bye, boys, I'm off. You know, thanks for taking me through the academy, Tony Carey. For getting me where I am today, but up yours, I'm off. I do think some players, when they take us down, if they really have got an affiliation with the club, like Souček, he says he wants to end his career, like Bowen wants to end his career, I think they should give, even if they give us one season, and just go, look, we took you down. We tried our best. We weren't good, even though we all know this has been coming for 4 or 5 years. And I think they should give us one go to give us back. Do you think players owe the fans anything, Martin?
Oh, Jesus Christ, mate. All the time that they're wearing the colours, they owe us. That goes just like standard for me, you know. As soon as you put on them colours, you know, you give 100%. But, you know, with the exception of Freddie Potts, none of these boys are East End boys, are they? You know what I mean? So, you know, how can I expect like Dinos to have an affiliation? Now, we brought him out of Germany. We've given him a platform, you know, the same as we have done for Jared. Now, Jared's coming from Hull, and he's worked his socks off to get to where he's got to. So, you know, he's married into West Ham.
Married into an East End family.
Yeah, literally into an East Ham family. And, you know, in that respect, yes, I think that they do, because he feels that he owes West Ham, because without West Ham, he wouldn't be the player that he is today and achieve the things that he has achieved. So I think there is a certain element, but I don't expect it. With some players, I expect it. Others, I don't.
No, I agree. Stu, do you think some of the players owe the club and they should at least give us a season?
Oh yeah, without doubt. That's one of my gripes with teams. Like you say, they go down and then they had this big fucking players mass exodus. I don't think they should be allowed. I do not think they should be allowed. I think it should be put into fucking contracts. If you take us down, you have got to give us one season down there to get us back up. Simple as that. As simple as that. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that took us down. Yes, I know the fucking manager was shit and all the rest of it, but it's the players on the fucking park that don't fucking perform when they're supposed to fucking perform. Right? What are you fucking laughing for now? But no, I really do. No, I think they should. I really think they should. And as Martin said, like the pups, anybody that puts on that West Ham shirt, I want to see them do what Suchek does, what Pablo does. Run around and fucking get stuck in and fucking want to fucking do the business. Not put it on and think, I'm putting this on, I'm gonna get myself out there, I'm gonna put myself in a shop window, I'm earning fucking 70 bags a week here, but if I can improve a little bit, someone's going to come in for me and I'm going to earn 120 bags a week going to play for Man United or fucking Liverpool. Well, if that's your attitude at the start, don't come. Don't come to fucking West Ham. Don't fucking come. Fuck off and play your football in Ummagumma land or go to Johnny Arab land and fucking earn fucking 500 bags a week out there running around for these fucking Arabs. You know what I mean? Don't fucking come to West Ham. That you know, because when people come, you want them to fucking do the business. Show that they want to be there. Show a bit of heart, a bit of passion, and want to fucking progress.
We want them to care.
Yeah. But they don't. A lot of them are so money orientated. You know, to them, earning 70 bags a week ain't enough. Ain't enough. For fuck's sake. Jesus Christ, your mother's cunt. Live in the real fucking world, why don't you? You know what I mean? It's just. I'm sorry, mate.
Joe, no, listen, boys. We have there's rumours that Cornet has come back because no one wants him, and we could have, you know, the big German who talked the talk, but he couldn't walk the walk. You know, he might be coming back. Should we, if we can't get rid of these players, should we pay them off and give squad numbers to the reserve team players, some of the youth lads, rather than just keep them in there, Martin?
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Tell me why, Martin.
It's a no-brainer. Fulkrug's attitude has been shit from day one. Now, like you said, he talked the talk, but he hasn't walked the walk. He's been sick note more than he's been playing. He's hardly scored anything for us. He's not up for it. He's not up for the fight. And more importantly, he don't want to be here.
Yeah.
So why the hell should we pay him X amount of money just to ship him out on loan, fund his wages as well? Because the majority of these clubs ain't going to fork out the money and that they're on.
Yeah, exactly.
Cancel their contracts, get rid, and, you know, hopefully now that we're in a better place with leadership, we're not going to make these ridiculous signings. And that's for Cornet. You know, he had a couple of good games for Burnley. We brought him in, and he's been horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And I know he scored in that behind closed doors game, but, you know, I mean, he was a running joke, weren't he, when he was playing for us? You know, we were having little wagers about how many times, you know, is he on Sky Bet? How many times is he going to get offside in this game?
Do you know what I think fucked him over, Cornet? Was that goal being disallowed against Chelsea? Up until then, because he was always a good player, and when he came to us, you know, he was doing all right. He was playing okay. And then that goal was disallowed against fucking Chelsea, and you could physically see the strain out of him. And I think that
regardless of whatever the reason were, whether it be him, whether it be Edison Alvarez, whether it be Fulkrug, anyone at all, you know, Wan-Bissaka at the moment, you know, his first season for us was exceptional. He was absolutely fantastic. But last year, he was a shadow of that player. He looked disinterested, didn't look like he was up for it. I don't want these players. I don't want anyone to be at the club that doesn't want to be here. So if they all about the money, look, you're going to sit in the reserves, you're going to rot. We ain't sending you out on loan because, you know, what benefit is that going to be to us? Cancel your contract, go to where you need to go.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, when Wan-Bissaka come to us that first season, he did. And I honestly believe he put himself in a shop window that season, and he thought at the end of that season, he'd get a move somewhere else away from West Ham. But it didn't happen. And that's why he was so disinterested last year. Time and time again. Mate, how many times have we not argued, but we've debated it, Dougie, that I said he's lazy. Yes, you fucking bomb forward, but you watch him coming back. I've just had my Sunday dinner and I'm on an afternoon stroll. And you used to say, well, you can't expect them to run up and down. You can expect them to run up and down for the money they're fucking on. They're fucking fit. He should be able to run up and down that fucking pitch for at least 70 minutes, not fucking 5 minutes going one way. And then, it's fucking bollocks.
You could argue the fact that if they hadn't done it before, then you can't expect them to do it again. But we've seen him do that. So last year, when he was trying to bomb forward, and then it was lackadaisical attitude of getting back, that is what really gets my goat. Yeah. Because he doesn't care. He's not playing for the team. He doesn't want to be there.
He done it for United. He done exactly the same at Man United. And in the end, at Man United, they just dropped him, didn't they?
He can't cross the ball, can he? He's great one-on-ones. We know he's great one-on-ones. You know, not many people go by him. He's got great pace.
If that's a part of his game that he's struggling in crossing, well, stay behind after training finishes, put in an extra fucking 20 minutes, 30 minutes on you, either fucking wing, crossing the fucking ball in, crossing the ball. Just do that. Fucking teach yourself how to cross the fucking ball. Don't, training's finished, I'm out of here. Gone.
Put Stu,
effort in.
Yeah, but look at the other side, Stu. Look at the other side. When you go left, we've got a bloke who can cross the ball, but he can't defend. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Juve going forward, we love him. He's got a great left ping. When he gets it over, he gets that in-swinging curler, doesn't he? You know what I mean? Which Pablo and Tati, I think they're feed off next year. But he's the opposite. Someone's got to get hold of him. Hence, we should have kept players like Creswell, players like Tuchel. Teach them how to defend. Teach them how to read a game. Dawson was paceless. Dawson didn't have pace when he come in. No one fancied Craig Dawson, including me. Why we spent $3 million on someone Watford don't want? He read the game like Bobby Moore. Not as good as Bobby Moore. He put his head in everywhere. He sorted the defence out. He sorted it out. Get someone who can play the ball, read, and say, right, this is where you've got to defend. Push them down the line. Don't let them cut them in. We have so many of these inverted wingers, whether it's the same with the Championship. But if they're not inverted wingers, push them down the line. Push them away from goal. I can't believe in the World Cup, sorry to bring the World Cup on, how many goalkeepers have saved the ball and their hands have pushed it straight back in front of them. And someone scored a goal. You know, when you're a kid, you're learning goalkeeper. Push the ball away, push it away, punch it away. Don't let it fall in front of you. A lot of this stuff is basically
the fucking ball.
Yeah, but these balls, Stu, these balls are like paper. They're like, they do move. But when you go back, we've said about it, the goalkeepers coming out and being sweepers, it is a generational thing. But we need a coach. But I also think what we need, which I don't think we've got in Nuno, we need someone that's going to put their arm around these players. And when they have a bit of a stinker, I know you're going to go on at me, Stu, that we shouldn't do it because the money they're on. But at the moment, players have got big egos. Yeah. And when they're having stinkers, which brings me on to the next question I want to ask you guys. I'm a little bit 50-50 on this one. We do need someone who can go, come on, you've had a crap game. Don't worry about it. I remember when young Ollie Scholes let that go in there and he was crying at the end of it. Yeah. Only a couple of players went up to him at the end of that game. Everyone should don't worry about it. We all make mistakes, and they didn't. And then the next day, remember a lot of the channels, it was Ollie Scholes' fault. Mark Noble coming in as director of football. Do we think in all this crap that we've had to stand under Sullivan the last 4 or 5 years, and I don't want to go on what's gone on with Sullivan, because ever since that programme, it seems to have all gone quiet what he'd done. Do you think he should have come out? He's a fan, remember, like Tony Cotty was a fan, played for his boy club and come out. Do you think this is a good thing and we will see more youngsters come through? Do you think there'll be a lot more, communication with the fans? Do you think he might be the one to put his arm around the players, Stu?
Oh, my views on this, mate.
No, then say them.
As far as I'm concerned, Mark Noble is not, he might still be a fan, but he's not Mr. West Ham anymore. He's corporate. He's part of the backroom staff now. He cannot be seen to be doing that sort of stuff. It's not part of his job remit. And that's why when he first, we've heard nothing of him ever since his playing career's been finished. Everybody, Mark Noble's going to fucking push for the kids, get the kids. No, he fucking ain't. He fucking ain't. Because now, I'm sorry to say, it's all about the fucking pound note. It's all about having Charlie on that fucking bit of paper that's given you. I'm not about that Charlie. I'm on about King Charlie. You know what I mean? So just to verify that amongst people who might get the wrong idea, it's all about the money, mate. I honestly don't believe Mark Noble's the one to do it anymore. You need somebody that's actually on that park playing, you know, most of the games, that you need somebody in the playing team that can do that. And yes, when Noble was playing, he'd do it. But he ain't going to do it now. He's gone. He's corporate. And as far as I'm concerned, you can, he doesn't, I suppose it's the wrong phrase, but to me, once you really get above fucking Nuno, I'm not interested. I ain't fucking interested in all that lot in the back. All them sitting up there in the stands with their fucking whistles on. You know what I mean? And their shiny fucking loafers or brogues or whatever it is they're fucking wearing. You know, I'm not interested in them. I'm interested in who plays on that park. And when they come on that park, they put in a fucking shift. I don't, because to me, Noble's finished as that. And have we got anybody at the moment that could do that? No, because as you said about Ollie Scholes, even Bowen didn't come over and fucking give Ollie Scholes a fucking arm round him. You know, even Bowen didn't fucking do it. And so people can't say, oh, well, Bowen, because that's not Bowen's gun. That's why he's not a captain.
Yeah, but Stu, like, listen, I'm actually went with you, right? But we've got to start putting infrastructure in the team. The way the team plays has got to be why the reserve team plays.
Yeah,
we know they've played
I
differently.
totally agree with you. But at the end of the day, we're fans.
Yeah, like, don't forget, years ago we had Tony Carr. Tony Carr was there for 37 years, right? Yeah. He had 10 players that went through our system at the 2010 World Cup. They knew where he was going to play. I mean, we go back to Ron Greenwood, you know, the West Ham way. He come out and said, people can say about the West Ham way, well, always. Ron Greenwood said, the fans might not always get the result they want, but when they leave, they'll know that the players left their art on the pitch and tried. What I'm trying to say is we need an infrastructure that if someone does go out, you know, someone from the reserves can come in and we play the same football with the training pitches, integrate the youngsters. And I'm talking about even up as far as 15, 16. Wayne Rooney played at 16. Paul Allen played a cup final at 17. Yeah. If they know the system and it's with the infrastructure, how we're going to play, then they can come in. And I do think at some point or other with West Ham, we've got to go back to basics with all the youngsters, with the way we train them, with the games we play. We might not win. We've had a couple of really good seasons with the reserve sides, but I do think we've got to try and play that the same team plays. Martin, can you give me your opinion on what's the name first? On Tony Carr. I wish he was back there. Mark Noble, sorry.
Well, I mean, you know, I think it's hard for Noble to be Mr. West Ham. Now, he will always be Mr. West Ham for me, regardless of whether he's wearing a whistle or not. I think it's hard for him to be authentic and say the things that he wants to say all the time that Sullivan was in charge. Now, if I had a business and I had an employee that was speaking out about me or the way that I was running things, he wouldn't be my employee for much fucking longer. So whether he's trying to do something from the inside or not, I don't know. But I don't think he's the kind of person that will just collude with Sullivan. I don't believe that. I refuse to believe that. With regards to the youngsters and stuff, we've got Mark Robson, we've got Stevie Potts, we've got Kenny Brown, we've got some good people looking after our youngsters that will put an arm around these boys. We haven't really got it with the first team, though. So like when you said about Ollie, you know, was he at fault? Well, he made a mistake. Was he at fault the reason that we lost the game? No, he wasn't. You know, and I think it was Carl Walker-Peters that come over. He was I think he was the only person that come over and put his arm around him at the end of it. You know, and he was inconsolable because, you know, that was huge for him.
And what happened after that? He was dropped. So putting your arm around them, like you say, you know, the lads, you know, Robson and whatever, they might put their arm around him after the game, but that ain't going to help when the manager turns around and drops him because he's made that mistake.
Yeah, but that's the manager.
Yeah, but if a player makes a mistake, every player makes a fucking mistake.
How many times we used to say about how the fact that Harry Redknapp was the man to, like when Di Canio come in, he could put an arm around a player, he could make them feel welcome and wanted. If they made a mistake, look, don't worry about that. Crack on. We'll get it next. There wasn't no criticism and stuff, but with Nuno, it's a completely different ball game. He holds a grudge. Let's use James Ward-Prowse, for example, yeah? Called him baldy. Never playing for me again. Plain and fucking simple, son. We haven't got the kind of manager that will look after these kids in that respect.
But Martin, can I go back to the football? Sorry, Stu. Look, if we look, whoever is in charge of the youth team, you spoke about Potts, you spoke about Mark Robson. Nuno has got to get them together and go, look, we know we can't pay the bigger wages this year. We know we can't go out and get, bigger players in like we would in the Prem. But I want you now to implement in the youth sides, the under-23s, the under-18s, even go back as a 15, 16, a younger lad. And I am going to play this football. It might not be the football we like, Stu. It might be that we score a goal and we have to defend. But if we implement it in them teams, when we do need someone, we'll be coming someone straight into the structure of the team that knows how we're playing. Now, everyone wants to win. We know everyone wants to win. Don't matter what, you play Sunday league football and you go out there and you've got kids playing under fives. They do want to win. But if we implement a system with our infrastructure, and we have got to rebuild. Let's be honest with West Ham, we've got to rebuild the trust between the club and the fans. Everyone loves Kretinsky at the moment. We know he's an investor, right? And someone's done a power play on Sullivan. It's for another show, right? Why this has come out this season, we're never going to know, why Brady left just before the end of last season. But we need a plan, whether we go up or not. Going forward, we need a plan for the club going forward. And I hope behind the scenes we implement systems that all the youth teams, and I do want youth players to come in because West Ham always used to have 3-4 youth players coming through, Martin. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more, mate. But again, it's it's about the structure and how the club's run.
100%. 100%.
And what you said about Kretinsky's coming in, he's not doing this because he loves West Ham.
No, yeah.
I can't see. Is he going to be here in 5 years' time? I find it highly unlikely. He's thinking. Well, not that I know what he's thinking, but if it was me, and I was in his shoes, right, I'm going to put a few quid into this. I'm going to look to make things better for the club. I'm going to get the right people in to do the right job. I want to get us up first time of asking, and that means bringing in a few bodies as well. And then when we go. There was talk about putting some standing room in, wasn't there? In the ground. 50,000, I think it is now, season tickets sold.
The LLDC won't allow it, will they? They won't allow the standing.
No, but they're looking to make changes for the better, aren't they? Yeah. So if we manage to get these changes in, if we get promotion, if we're running the right way, which is what he wants. Who's to say in a year's time, 18 months' time, he doesn't flog us on at a huge profit?
I agree with you. I think it's probably going to likely to be American owners. That Amanda Staveley's come out and not ruled it out. Someone asked her, she was at one of these expos, and she said, we've basically got $1 billion. Would you look into Spurs? Would you look into West Ham? $1 billion ain't going to buy Spurs because their ground's worth over $2 billion now. But Spurs fans are moaning, by the way, that there's corporate. The prices for the season tickets have been between around about you are, Martin, right? 300 between 350. I really do hope that a lot of youngsters have took the opportunity to get them tickets and people have bought their kids and their grandkids or their nephew and get them over there, get them interested so they can be the next generations of fans like us. Do you really see us, Stu, changing type of football when we start this season? Because I'll tell you, mate, we talked about the England-Argentina game with tackles flying in. There's going to be tackles flying in all over the place in the championship. Do you think we will change type or Nuno's going to play the same football, Stu?
Well, it's the problem, isn't it? I know for a fact we have to change our style of football in the Championship. We cannot play all this defensive because they will eat us alive. I mean, every team in that Championship is going to look at us as an FA Cup final, and because of the way the London Stadium is, it's not intimidating for them. So they're not going to come near and be intimidated for a start. So do I think Nuno's going to change? No, I don't. I really don't. I think he'll start the season attacking. But we go 1-2 goals up in a game, he would do exactly what Tuchel done last night. Be a sharp shot. And it will go back to that fucking boring fucking defensive football. That's what's going to happen. That is exactly what's going to fucking happen. I just can't see a change. I really cannot see him changing. He's not going to change. I mean, they say a leopard don't change his spots, and they don't at the end of the fucking day. He ain't going to change his style. And nothing's going to change until we get a progressive manager in. But who is there? Who's going to want to come in and take over at West Ham? You know what I mean? A progressive manager. They seem to be fucking rare these days, It's all this fucking playing out from the back, this fucking... And that fucking... As I keep saying, it boils my fucking piss. Like last night, watching them fucking Pickford ball at feet. How many times did he nearly fucking fuck up last night trying to play out from the back? It's got to stop. It's fucking atrocious. It fucking has me fucking so wound up during the game watching it. It's just fucking... It balls my fucking piss.
I know. Martin, do you see Nuno playing the same type of football? Or if we come out and we get some goals, would you like to see him to go on? I mean, look, let's face it. If we get 1, 2, 3, hypothetically, because we didn't score a lot of goals last year, I think Bowen and it was Bowen, Wilson and Souček were our top scorers, weren't we? Would you like to see us play a bit more, use the word progressive? Would you like to see us play a bit more open, a bit more quicker football? I think what happened with England, and especially with Nuno, we didn't play the ball quick enough. The intricate triangles, playing the ball quick, it moves the defenders, it creates space. Can you see him changing type, or are you like Stu and think he's just going to play the same old Moyes, Potter and Loppy ball?
I find it hard to see anything other than what we've already seen.
Yeah.
It's not like he's given us any reason to think that there is anything else that he is going to do. But him staying on, we have asked him to stay on. He's agreed to stay. Now, the club statement is that our aim is to come back at the first time of asking. If we're coming back at the first time of asking, we can't afford to sit back. We have to attack games. We need to win games. We need points. We can't afford to go 2-0 up and then go defensively because we want a third goal. We want a fourth goal. If we're going to make substitutions, they need to be like for like. I don't want to see any 5 at the back because that's where we're going to come unstuck. If he decides to do what Tuchel did last night, like he did last year on many occasions, then we're asking to get hiding, and that will happen, and we've seen it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right, boys, before we finish, now we know what you got to do. For those who don't know about the Championship, they've changed their rules again because Sky are involved to show every game on the Championship. Now you've got to get in the top 8, right, to get into the playoffs. 1 and 2 will go up. 3 and 4 go straight to the semis. 5, 6, 7, 8 will have playoffs. It will go right down to the ones before the bottom 3 next season, won't it? So they can get more money out of the game. This is the people that are, by the way, want the players to play less games. We should make the top 8, Stu, yes?
Well, I'll tip us to win it, mate, next year. I'm not going to change my mind on that. I still think we will. If we can keep, as I said, if we keep the core of our fucking team like it's looking like we're going to, I think we shouldn't have a problem with not winning that fucking league next season. At least finishing the top 2. I'm putting us down to win it. I really am. I'm putting us down to win it.
I think Southampton will have the because they got slung out, didn't they? Wrongly, by the way, I think, because They went and spied on Middlesbrough. Oh, crap. Anyway, Middlesbrough. Martin, well, you think we're going to win it with over 100 points, don't you, with your pixie dust and fairy farts?
I'll tell you what, like Stu said, it boils his piss, but it's the same as the Champions League. You know, people that finish 5th place can end up in the Champions League. What are they fucking champions of?
Yeah.
It just annoys me that, like, so the top 8, you know, the playoffs come down to 8th place. All right, you come into 8th place and you can get one of the richest prizes in football. I think it's ridiculous. Absolutely bloody ridiculous.
Yeah.
What about money, Martin? For me,
if we come 8th place, I don't think we deserve to go up.
No, exactly. Exactly.
I don't know. Gentlemen, absolutely amazing show. We did try to keep this to 30 minutes yet again. And yet again, us three are like 3 old women in the long dress, sit there jabbing about nothing. Stu, take us out, boys. Thanks for watching the show. If you'd like to come on. Please be respectful in the comments. Otherwise, we send Stu around your ass. Because he knows and he will find you.
Send Martin around without his pants on.
No, thanks. Take us out, Stu.
Take care. Stay safe. Stay lucky, my friends. Come on, you irons.
On your irons.